folks. Welcome to Myers Metal Detectors, located in sunny Tampa, Florida, where we sell nothing but fun and adventures, treasure hunting gear, and anything you can imagine for metal detecting. Give us a call, 813-237-1939. Happy hunting and dig deeper.
Live from sunny Florida, it's Treasure Talk.
Oh, what an opener. That was nice, Jeff.
That is a solid gold.
Yes, that's cool. Well, welcome again, folks, to another exciting edition of Treasure Talk. And I'm in lovely Tampa, Florida, and Jeff is over in Daytona.
Yes, I am.
And you didn't find the gold today, but there's tomorrow. Tomorrow's the day. Since today.
Yep, and I don't know, something's up with Facebook. It's crazy.
Is it not working?
I don't know.
I think mine's on.
Yeah, yours is on, but I don't know. Facebook's crazy.
Oh, it is.
There's a reason why I dislike Facebook, but
if I didn't have a business, I wouldn't be on Facebook because I just don't like the whole nothing. Stuff disappears. You can't find it. Can't go back to it to look at it. It's just a little irritating. But folks, we've got an exciting show. We've got an excellent YouTube personality going to be on tonight for sure. So I guess I ought to start getting to it, huh, Jeff?
Yep, we better.
Of course, today's show is, as always, is brought to you by friends at Myers Metal Detectors, where we sell fun and adventure, and we have everything in stock here most of the time. We even have the Manticores in stock today. So if you know somebody needs a Manticore, be sure to give them my name and number, and we'll get them sent out to them for sure. Or stop in the shop and pick it up tomorrow because we're open Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday from 10:30 to 3:30.
That's right. And if you need anything.
Yes, especially we had the show last night. If you need a Motley product, we're stocking those. So,
and I do have to say, I've been using the Motley Scoop today. I used it last night and today, and I'm very pleased with it.
And Jeff,
it takes a nice bite. It's extremely well made.
Yes.
Extremely well made.
And what did you think of their special way of melting?
That's pretty good. That's cool.
It is cool.
So if anybody is thinking about doing any kind of traveling, that's the one to get.
Absolutely. That and the travel handle.
Yeah.
If you want to pack it in your luggage, that would be a way to go. If you're not a traveler like that, you just want to break it down and have the handle separate, you could do that too with a regular handle.
I mean, it's
Anderson.
It's great. I like the Scoop. Very sturdy.
Yes, for sure. Well, anyway, let me keep going so we can get our guest in here with us today. The views and thoughts and opinions expressed here on Treasure Talk belong solely to the Treasure Talk guest or member, and not necessarily to Phil Myers, Jocelyn Myers, Myers Metal Detectors, or Jeff Moen.
Right.
And of course, the whole purpose behind Treasure Talk is to promote the hobby of metal detecting and treasure hunting and to educate our members in a fun, informative manner. And we're going to do just that like we always do.
Yes, indeed we are. And we got a guest tonight. I tell you what, we keep getting the good ones. And this one is solid gold. It's hard to find enough superlatives to describe our guest for tonight. This lady it just knocks it out of the park every time she goes. She's so knowledgeable about Minelab products. That's what she likes, is Minelab products. She's knowledgeable about it, and she's more than happy to share her knowledge, which is something in itself. She's got just the talent just runs off her like raindrops, So let's just go ahead and let's bring her in. You saw the intro, and you are in for a rare treat tonight. Let's talk with Stef from Stef Digs. Hello.
Hey, how's it going?
Welcome, Stef.
Really good, really good. I tell you what, everybody's hair's been on fire waiting for you to come on.
Oh, all right. Been looking forward to it since we talked about it in March when I met you at Big Stock.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Did you have a good time at Digstock?
We had a great time, and it was crazy because we had Debbie and Ford detectors, which um, I have to imagine in the United States that's the highest number of like MyLab reps we've had running the tent at any given time. So I didn't dig a whole lot, but I love events. That's where I get re-energized. Basically.
Well, see, that's the thing too. At Digstock, I didn't get a whole lot of digging done. I got a lot of jaw flapping done,
I got a lot of that done.
but I didn't get a lot of digging done. So,
But Jeff, you're a natural at that, my friend.
yeah, well, so many people there, and so many people that watch the show. So, you take 10 steps and then you go, hey, and
Yep.
Steph, you know how it is.
Yep.
So, it was a good time. It was a good time. It was colder than old Billy up there, though, wasn't it?
Sunday was ridiculous. We actually had like freezing rain and a bit of snow, I think, on Sunday. It was
Well,
just,
I was nice and warm in the car coming home Sunday.
yeah. I stayed under the tent that day. I was more than happy to be working that day.
Yeah, I bet.
It was miserable out there that last day. But overall, I think things went pretty well. I found some native artifacts, which I never get to do. I went out in the field, and Debbie said, "You forgot your machine." I said, "No, I didn't. I'm field walking today. So I never get to do this. I don't have those kinds of sites where I hunt."
So why don't you tell the folks where home is at and tell us what the temperature is where you're at, Steph?
Well, I am in Hebron, Connecticut, and as of right now, I think it's about 70 degrees out, which is really nice. The digging weather has been optimal this month, anywhere from if you go first thing in the morning, like 55 degrees to up to like 75 in the afternoon. So just perfect.
Yeah. Well, we hit the 90s today. How about you over there, Jeff?
Yeah, it was rainy and all day and thunder boomy, but it was probably, I'd say, mid 80s. It was
Okay.
pleasant on the beach.
Yeah, we had a
We
little.
went,
Yeah, and I see everybody's commenting on my haircut.
yeah. That was Kathy Bacorn
I
from
think a
Ohio.
few people did that. When my hair gets long, I start getting in a bad mood. I think I was in that last time.
Me too, because then I can't spike it up.
Yeah. Well, your hair looks good like that. I wish I
Well,
could.
the good thing about that, Steph, is if somebody really ticks you off, just gore them with it, with the hair.
I could. Do you know how many people, and not just at digging events, but through my life, because I've had short hair since I was about 17 years old. People just come up and give me a tap tap. They don't necessarily ask either, but I'm just so used to it at this point. If I feel a tap tap on my hair.
Okay.
Well, look at it this way. It's a positive thing, Steph, because
Oh, yeah.
if you're out and you happen to leave your hand digger someplace, you can just kind of get down there and,
Yep.
do what you have to do.
Yeah, for sure. So, tell us how long have you been detecting and the metal detectors you've used?
I have been detecting for just 6 years, actually. I started with the Garrett line, the Ace line. I had a 250, 400, an 18 Max. And shortly after I got the Max, that's when I upgraded to the Equinox 600. And that was the gateway drug into Minelab for me. So these days, I am spending the 900 and the Manticore, primarily the Manticore. I absolutely love that machine. It's my favorite.
Okay. Well, I'm sure we're going to have a lot of questions on the Manticore, but tell us, going from the 600 to the 900, what do you like? Because I sell a lot of the 900s in the shop. That's probably one of my top sellers.
Yeah.
What do you like about that one over your 600?
Well, coming from a 600, there's a huge difference, obviously, because it would be a better comparison to compare like an 800 to a 900,
Right.
which I did compare in an unboxing and review video, with some air tests to get IDs and stuff. I borrowed my friend's Equinox 800 to compare it to the 900 when I did a speed test, I had several silver coins and nails in between the coins, and it was a lot sharper and clearer sounding on the 900 versus the 800. And in general, what I found is when I do go out with the 900, I'm finding more iron in the hole with my desirable target, which is speaking to the faster processor and the improved target separation. So I've been very happy with that. But it is collecting dust next to the Manticore.
Oh, geez.
But I really do like the 900 a lot. I think it's an upgrade that, a lot of us wanted. We wanted a carbon fiber shaft. We wanted something collapsible. The ergonomics is better on that machine. And, it's really not just a beefed up 800. It really is a different machine. And I think that's what I try to kind of drill into people's minds when I'm talking about the 900. It's not just a new carbon fiber shaft, with the new target ID scale. It's quite a bit more than that.
Yes, you get all the increased target ID. Everything isn't compressed. The numbers aren't compressed. So I like it too, and I like that collapsibility of it. But of course, you've got that in your Manticore too, and you got a whole lot more features there. And it looks like my haircut is really the talk of the town today, Jeff. And my buddy Joe said, Big Poppy says, "I love your new hairpiece. You can barely tell it's not real." So thank you, Joe. Oh goodness. So I guess we got to get on and talking about Minelab products for sure. So now you're in Connecticut. Tell us some of your coolest finds up there.
Oh gosh. I have found some 17th century Native American artifacts like kettle points. For those who don't know what that is, a metal arrowhead basically. When our first settlers came over here in the 1600s and started to colonize, they would trade their brass kettles to the Native Americans in exchange for beaver pelts, furs, and such that they could sell back in Europe. And the Native Americans would use those, cooking wares and eventually cut them up once they had burnt through and were no longer usable. They cut them up into arrowheads and tinker combs and gorgets and stuff like that. So those are some of my favorite finds. I also found a spill of Spanish reals back in 2019, which was a lot of fun. It was a 2 real and 2 halves in the hole. I'm kind of looking around the treasure room. I've got a nice eagle belt plate that I'm looking at. It's across the room, so I can't even get it right now. Last year, I'd have to say is probably one of my best years, especially coin wise. I got a Nova Constellatio that made the cover of American Digger magazine because it's beautiful. Cap bust halftime, a second prime, colonial silver cufflink, colonial silver buckle. Anything that's like fancy colonial of a precious metal that's my wheelhouse. That's what I love to find. So it's I can't really summarize all of my cool finds in one spiel, but I will say like 90% of my finds so far have been with the Equinox 600. So that was just a powerhouse of a machine. I'm using that for 5 years. I got to know it very well, and Manticore's been an incredible upgrade from that from the Equinox series. So continuing the good coinage trend from that.
Yeah. So on the Manticore, how many hours have you figured you've used it already?
Probably a couple hundred at this point, I would say.
Okay.
So I get to know it pretty well. Between 100 and 200. I don't actually really count my hours. I go out about maybe 3 times a week, sometimes 4 if I'm lucky. It depends. But yeah, I usually go out probably about 5-6 hours at a time, somewhere in that every minute. I've had it since March, so I can do the quick math. But
Yeah. So,
you just muted yourself. There you go.
yeah, there you go. I had Jocelyn just said you might have to speak a little closer because some people are saying you're sounding a little muffled.
All right. Hello. Is that any better?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
a little better.
good.
Yes.
That's better? Okay.
Yes. So
Just use sign language.
Close. Yeah. I don't know sign language, and I should because I'm deaf in one ear. You never know where the other one's going to go. But,
okay.
yeah.
So, Jeff, did you have the question? Because I didn't want to.
I
laughing
think,
back there.
yeah, Sam Truckley wanted to know. I'll just pop it up here so we can see it. Have you tested the CTX 3030?
I used it very briefly because I was really wed to my Equinox, so I actually didn't use it too much, and I ended up flipping it when I bought a 900. If I'm honest, but it's a heck of a machine. I frankly I wasn't quite in a place to invest the time that I really needed to understand the CTX. And when I got it was around the time that the Manticore was coming out as well, and I knew that was something that I definitely wanted to get my hands on, and that was what I wanted to invest time in the 900 and the Manticore. So
Well,
the short answer, kind of no.
the thing of it is
Well,
with
enough for you,
the
but I haven't really spent a whole lot of time with it.
yeah, the CTX is very heavy, and with the upgrades in the Equinox, I mean, the 900 over the 800. I mean, there's been, it's really a nice upgrade for, the weight of it. Why not go with the 900?
Right.
It would be my contention, because CTX is a great machine, but it is heavy.
Yeah. Yeah, it is very heavy. I mean, it's an incredible machine. I mean, I have friends who swing it and swear by it and don't even want to switch. There have been a few of them who are kind of like humming and hawing over the Manticore. Actually, a good friend of mine, this guy David, uh, bought a Manticore recently at my suggestion because he was getting really tired with his, swinging around a 5.2 pound machine. Actually, heavier because he generally uses a 17
Mhm.
one. So, yeah, I'll be curious to see what he has to say about it. As someone who used the CPX for like 10 years, be very
Yeah,
interested to hear
you
what
know,
he has to say.
I think that processor in your Equinox is so much faster than the CTX. That's
Yeah,
just my opinion. So if you're hunting in heavy iron, yeah, you're going to get better performance even from the Equinox 700, which now that's got the same shaft. It doesn't have all the features or the gold prospecting, but that is an awesome detector. And I was just reading on the live stream, Jay Metal Detecting says he's got the Equinox 700, and with the wireless headphones, that is just an awesome detector for the money. It's, multi-frequency, so you're going to do well on the beaches, and you just give up a certain amount of features that you don't have in the 900. But it's an excellent choice for somebody in that price range. Hey, get you started with a MindLab product, and to me, it's just a way to go. I sell a lot of those too, although the 900 and also the another brand product that's got that, the Legend, that seems to be selling a lot these days here in the shop. But both of them excellent products. And what is your oldest coin you've dug, Seth?
1655 French Liard. I dug a few years ago with the 600.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear what you said.
It was a 1655 French Liard.
Okay, and that was dug in Connecticut?
Yep.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Those French get all over the place,
Stuff
don't
out
they?
here. I think I counted. I think I have like 15 coins from the 1600s or something, and I think all of them came from Connecticut, if I'm not mistaken. Because usually I am in Connecticut, unless I go to a group hunt or a club hunt. I'll go up to Vermont, New Hampshire, Rhode Island, whatever. But 90% of the time I'm in Connecticut. So
Are you,
Well,
are you
it was probably that Frenchie that was traveling down from Oak Island that dropped it.
oh yeah.
maybe I don't
Could
know.
be.
It could be.
So Steph, are you in any metal detecting clubs?
I'm actually not currently. No, the club that I was in for a while is dissolved now. I am kind of sort of part of Southern New England Relic Hunters. They just had a club hunt and were kind enough to let me join. Oh yeah, I did join the club that day.
Okay.
That's where my head's at right now. And they're a small club. They just started this year, but they got us some really great property recently. I didn't dig a bunch, but a lot of coppers came out, some silvers, whole bunch of stuff. So I'm looking forward to getting on more hunts with them for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, I enjoy the metal detecting clubs. We have two of them here in the Tampa Bay area. and I'm a real active in the West State Archaeological Society, and that's been around for I think almost 50 years, and it's here in Tampa. And then there, of course, there's one across the bay in Largo, which I used to go to their meetings, but they changed their meeting after COVID. They changed it to a Monday night, so I'm stuck here. So I
You're
I
not stuck.
I love it here, Jeff. So I can't be in two places at one time. So, but yeah, I love the Treasure Talk show. It's been really fun,
Yeah.
and I do miss the guys from the other club. But hey, I see them every once in a while, and I see them at the end of the year banquet.
Is that Howard's club, Phil?
Yes, it is. And he
Yeah.
comes on here. We've had him on here, and he does a lot of cruise detecting. But I will say this: I heard from another person who does the cruise detecting that some of the private islands in the Bahamas are getting shut down to metal detecting on the cruises.
And I'm really not surprised. You
Yeah.
know, uh,
And because Joe, the vice president of that club, had a paper and saying it's permitted on the Bahamas beaches, but they shut them down on it. So it's kind of a worrisome for that. So you better check your cruise line first to make sure it's okay.
yeah.
Yep.
Have you ever done that before, Steph?
I am not, and actually, I'm not much of a beach person. I kind of stick to the remote areas. I do cornfields where I know old home sites once sat in the 1600s, 1700s, up to maybe like 1850. That's kind of where I focus. If anything, 1600s to pre 1850, that's what I look for. So usually I'm out in a cornfield or I'm doing cellar holes in the woods, which is unique to New England, and I'm glad I have the opportunity to do that. So yeah, I haven't been to the beach a whole lot. I think I've tried it maybe once or twice ever. Um,
Okay.
yeah, I should probably get into it more, but I really focus on the older stuff. I would much rather go out and find a crusty copper coin that's 350 years old than find modern jewelry on the beach. That's,
Okay.
yeah.
So
No,
how
that
do you,
stands to reason. Have you been to England yet?
No. I hope this is the year, but I don't know. We'll
Well,
see.
who would you go with?
I'd go with my partner Nicola because she's been to
I
England
mean, for a trip.
yeah, that's who I would go with because she metal detects as well. Not nearly as much as I do. She probably goes out once a month or so. Very lax about it, but enjoys it. Comes to
You know,
love
have
the
you got
investigation. Yeah.
have you got any contacts over there for permissions?
I don't, but Debbie told me she does, and she said when you're ready to go over there, I will hook you up with somebody. So, and we know Debbie's good for that.
Well, there's a couple of good people to go over with a trip with a group. It's always a small group,
Yeah, yeah.
and you'd love it.
I'm sure that I would. I mean, from what people know of my reactions in my own YouTube videos, you can only imagine what would happen when I go to England and dig my first hammer. I'd be running circles around the field, probably. So yeah, I can't even imagine.
Well, Steph, you get over there and you're going to dig 1600 stuff all the time. It
Yeah,
ain't no biggie.
I know, I know. And from what I understand, from what somebody has told me, my friend Todd, who goes over there every year, said that they'll find like half pennies on the surface because people just boop, they just chuck them because to them it's like me finding a Wheatie in New England. I don't get a
Yeah,
for the
yeah.
penny in Connecticut,
See,
because
we need to get Phil over there.
yeah,
yeah, yeah. I need to go over there. Yes. And I know Jeff, you've been there, and you know a lot of people. And we had Chicago Ron does it, and the guy you went with, and we've had other guests who do those type of tours on the show here. And yeah, I think it's cool to be on sites like that. I just think of, but I don't know if I've got the stamina to hunt all day like that, Jeff.
Well, the thing of it is, I went over there with the Mumbles man and took a couple of naps in the field. It's you go find a tree and you sit down, And there you go. But it's a little easier digging once you get into the fields. It's not like digging in a park necessarily.
Yeah.
So,
So,
you
Steph,
know,
how do you get permissions to hunt in the fields you're hunting in?
I actually hunt a lot of town-owned land, believe it or not. That's mostly what I've been hunting. I have like probably half a dozen permissions in my town, which always surprises people. But one of my permission owners is a farmer that owns like 2 or 3 thousand acres of land, so that's actually quite a bit of land. So usually, I'll try and round up a couple of different farm owners and know that I can hunt whatever they own, you know. But other than that, I'll usually do town land. If I really need a yard, like this is the time of year where I need a yard because they've planted the cornfields now. That's pretty much all we have out here is cow corn fields. So those are planted now, and those won't come up until September or October. And our hay fields are also not going to be cut until July or August. So this is the time of year I do houses. And essentially, for me, what I like to do is I like to hunt in my town because one of my opening lines when they enter the door is, hey, I'm kind of your neighbor. I live on such and such a road. I know so and so. We wonder, would you be interested in seeing what's in the ground at your house that was built in 1780? And I tell people you can keep whatever you want. It doesn't matter. Is it okay with you that I take a YouTube video? I'm not going to show your house. Is it okay if I film the finds? And most of the time, if I get a yes, they don't even let me get halfway through my spiel, and they just say, "Knock yourself out." Usually, if that's the yes, usually if I get a yes, that's the kind of yes I get is, "Go ahead, see you later. Let me know what you find."
Do many of the people want the finds?
Not really, not really. I haven't had a lot of commission owners ask me for fines. I've given fines that weren't asked for, and they were appreciated. My probably my best permission is it's a very large yard that he's actually turned into a hayfield. It's about 8 acres, and then in the woods he owns 50 acres. I did manage to find a silver spoon from like the 1890s to 1910, somewhere in there, and we matched up the initials with someone that had owned the home before. I had kept I kept a photo on my phone of this list that they have that's right inside the kitchen door that shows all of the families that have lived there since 1830. So I knew when I found that spoon that I was going to unbend it and give it to them because naturally it was all mangled up and everything. And gave them one of my coppers from their dog tags that I find that probably belonged to a lot of their dogs over the last 40 years. So,
Yeah.
But yeah, most people don't care. They're just like, oh, that's really neat. Cool. Thanks for sharing. Adios.
Yeah, it's cool
You know,
when you can give them back an artifact that's for their particular property. That's really neat.
yeah,
Well,
they have to, yeah.
Jeff, it looks like you're doing a word from a sponsor.
yep, it's time for a word from our sponsor.
Now, I got to ask you this before you do it, Jeff. When you do that, I'm not in the picture. Is that correct?
No, it's a professional actor.
Okay.
It's
But
a Hollywood
I can,
star.
I can run and get a drink of water while you're doing that.
Yeah, it's a Hollywood star we got doing this commercial.
Oh, yeah. We hire the best, don't we?
That's right, the big Zazich. Here we go.
All right. Because I've talked more than I talk.
Hey guys, this is Big Poppy from Myers Metal Detectors. Wanted to let you know we got a big shipment in. We got about 20 of these bad boys. This is the Actera Pro single VLF, completely waterproof. We sell these in the shop for $269.95. Awesome detector. Also, we have the Minelab Manticore. These are highly, highly sought after machines. Very, very small distribution out there. But we do have these in inventory, and we sell these in the shop for $15.99.95. Come to the shop and see us, and we'll make you an offer you can't refuse, if you know what I mean. Hey guys, this is Big Poppy with Myers Metal Detectors. Just want to let you know we did get a huge shipment of the Minelab 900s. The 900s come with the 11-inch coil and the 6-inch coil. This is another sought-after machine. Come see us. All carbon fiber shaft. Call us. Come see us. We love you.
How about that? That was a good commercial.
That's the big Sazich. He's got a star on Hollywood Walk of Fame.
Yes. And I just was showing one of those Manticores in the box. So yes, they do exist, and a few people have them, and we still have a couple in stock. So
Yeah, his star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame is right outside of an Italian deli. It's
yes,
called kind of like a salami stain, kind of on the sidewalk here.
yeah, that's my good buddy Joe, and we've hunted a few old sites together, and um, it's too hot for that type of digging here now. I don't do any dirt digging
Boy,
now
ain't that the truth?
because it's too hot for that. I have friends who do it, and I just don't know how they do it. I try, and I get about 15 minutes at, when it's 90 some degrees and it's almost 100% humidity. It's just tough to do. It really is.
Oh, I know. I missed an opportunity at home. There used to be an old drive-in theater that probably shut down in the late mid 60s, probably. So it was there from through the 50s and 60s, and it was all grown up. And now a company bought the land to put in what is it, a Tractor Supply. So they've already broken ground. So I missed my opportunity.
Yeah. With the heat, it's just tough to do that down here this time of year.
Yeah, it's no way, no way.
It gets very hot up here too. I mean, the humidity up here is no joke in the summer. So that's when I'll go out either in the evening, like 5 o'clock to 9 or whatever. If I can do that, depending on what type of site it is, obviously, or first thing in the morning, because I don't do very well in heat.
Well, the digging Canuck, Jocelyn just told me, said the hotter the better, but she's in Canada, so her hot is a little different than ours.
Yeah, and the thing of it is with the digging Canuck, she's not any bigger than a mosquito. So, she's not like me, a beefaroonie that goes out there, you'll melt. So there are differences there.
Yes, when you're too fitty like me, that the
Yeah,
heat,
we're just perfectly formed, Steph. That's all.
Yeah,
the heat just gets to you. So that's why.
does it? I just wear it. Everyone laughs in the winter. I wear a. Oscar wants to make an appearance, I guess. My French bulldog is over here.
Oh, you got a Frenchie.
Frenchie over here. Everyone wants to see you.
Oh my goodness!
Hello. Yeah.
Do you see that dog, Joss?
No,
My-
here you go. Hello. He's like, what are you doing?
yeah, I had a dog. I had a dog that looked just like that. When I got it, they told me it was a Boston. And
Yeah.
my vet said, no, that's not a Boston, that's a Frenchie.
I've had a Boston actually.
And I think it might be related somehow.
I
But
feel like I think a Boston is a mix of some kind of terrier. I think it was called a white terrier. I can't remember, and a Frenchie. I do believe they're related.
yeah, they're related somehow because my vet said, no, that's not a Boston. Because I had a Boston and one looks like a French and one looks like a Boston.
Yeah.
And that's a French bulldog.
Yep.
And he wanted to be good, but he was just bad. You could tell he wanted to be good. So that's why I tell Jocelyn, I'm like Buddy. I want to be good, but sometimes I'm bad. So that's just the way it is. But so you get permissions in the town you're in. Do you have a hard time getting those?
It's 50-50 since COVID, to be honest with you. People aren't quite as receptive since COVID. It's been a little bit tough. No one's ever mean about it. There's only one person who was ever rude, and I think I just caught him at the wrong time, and he really wasn't in the mood for someone to knock on the door. It didn't matter how much I was smiling or what I was saying. He just wasn't having it. So it's usually just kind of no, thank you. I think I'll pass. But it's what you have to do. It's a necessary evil, unfortunately. But again, there's also in my town. I live in East Bump, kind of. So there is a lot of town-owned land that's acceptable to dig, and I know for a fact that with town land here, we can dig town land as long as it's not like a ball field or something where a kid might trip if your plug isn't perfect, something like that. But I'm free to do the woods. I can do cornfields as long as I know who leases the cornfield, that kind of thing. But yeah, permissions are hit and miss around here, unfortunately.
Well, I think it's getting harder all over. You know, there's so many people now metal detecting that is just getting harder to come by a permission.
Yeah, or one that hasn't been hunted, especially because
Yeah.
my primary permission owner, the one who owns a couple thousand acres in town, he lets anybody detect. He doesn't care. You just knock once. He said, "Yeah, have at it. Whatever. I don't care. Just don't go when it's planted." So and that's great that he's so generous. But with that, obviously, it's a harder hunt. When people have been out there time and time and time again, it's not easy, just flying around digging high conductors. It's nothing like that. You really do have to work for it. But you put in the time and you get rewarded anyway. So,
Yeah.
Well, I never really had a problem hunting after that somebody says, well, it's already been hunted. And I say, okay, that's fine.
yeah,
Because what I have found, even like I'm primarily a beach hunter now, is people say, oh, you don't go there. I already been down there. I got everything that's there. Well, you look at the way some people have their detectors set up. They're notching out this, notching out that, and they think they know, well, that's a pull tab and they don't dig it. And that kind of stuff. So I never had a problem hunting a place that's already been hunted. We've
yeah,
usually done fairly well too.
yeah. Because people will go through there and high tone it, and first of all, they miss a few. Secondly, there's so much good stuff in the mid to low conductor range that people just skip over. I think I
Yeah.
have more watch winders than anybody I know because I will dig those signals. I'll dig on the 600. I would dig, single digits. Even on the Manticore, even on the 900, I'll dig single digits. I don't care. I'm not deterred. If I'm in a cornfield where every tiny little, 5 or 6 signal is a piece of cancel and I'm running low on time, then yeah, maybe I'll skip those that day. But typically speaking, I dig it all and I never notch anything out. In fact, whenever somebody comes up to the tent at an event, I tell them, because I'll see how their machines are set up and I'll say, oh boy, here we go. Because, I'll see that clearly somebody has set it up specifically for coin shooting. And we all know, doing that, especially with a condensed scale on the 600, 800, is a big mistake. So I tell them, nope, I'm going to set this up for you the way I set mine up. If you hate it, here's how you can factory reset just that detect mode. But I want you to try this, and I want you to not notch anything out. That's the biggest mistake you can make. What's a trime ring up? A 16. That's a pull tab. What is a half dime or a wasted half real ring up? An 18.
So what's a buffalo nickel?
Exactly. I mean, you really keep going on the scale. I mean, I don't even know what a 3-cent nickel wins up because I haven't dug one, but I think it's like a 9 or a 10, something really, really low. So you can't even effectively coin shoot if you're notching things out. And there's so many other factors like the ground conditions, how iron infested the site is. So I tell people, listen, you can go to minelab.com and you can download your manual, keep it open on your web browser on your phone to refer back to. And if you really want to notch something out, you can do that, but I'm not going to show you how to do it. That's
What's
what
our war cry,
like
Phil?
I tell you, I tell them I'm not going to show you how to notch it out. And you're going to run with your iron on, and I'm going to show you how to turn down the iron volume so it's not driving you crazy. But trust me, and sure as anything, people will generally come back up to the tent and say, I did well today. Oh my God. Well,
Yes.
that's what I'm here for,
Yeah.
Well,
So
our war cry is, what is our war cry, Phil?
read your manual. That's what we say all the time. But let's talk. It looks like the Key Day Kids ask her how she likes her Excalibur shovel.
I didn't know you were in here. Hi, Casey. Yeah, I do love my Excalibur shovel. I really, really do. And he knows it too. I have been including my hashtag, Casey, on all of my posts on Instagram and such. And I really do like it. It's built like a tank. And I love Casey's shovels, Excalibur, because you can get a custom one. I mean, I specifically wanted something longer. So when I'm in a cornfield and where you're just, popping the dirt out of the hole, you don't have to be neat when you're digging the hole. I wanted something where I didn't have to bend over as much. So that extra 4 inches off of what I had before, which was 36 inches, made a huge difference. And I really like that, just the grip feel on it. It's got like a gritty kind of a texture to it, and that's
Yep.
what was showing off right now.
Yes.
Um,
And which head do you use? Do you use the wide one?
the wide, yep, I have the wide Cirque 40-inch D handle shovel, and I also like the ergonomics of that D handle because it's tilted, and it's
Yep,
just
yeah.
easier on your wrist at the end.
Yeah, that's what I've got. But I've got a Merlin.
Yeah, yeah. That's the one that comes apart, right? That you can.
Yeah. So you got the thinner blade for parks, houses, this type of thing. Wider blade for field hunting.
Yep.
Right. Or the wider blade for areas where they tore a house down or something. In my neighborhood here, they're ripping out all the 20s homes and putting in new 2-story homes. So you got that wider blade. You could kick a bunch of dirt out because you're not worrying about a neat plug. Although you could cut a neat plug with it. But yeah, that's an awesome product. What other tools do you use?
What do I have? I have a Minelab pouch because, you know, Debbie gives me a pouch when I see her if mine's falling apart or whatever. I do have an Excalibur edge digger too, but to be honest, I haven't been using it so much because I've been in cornfields a lot where it's really not all that necessary. But it's a great little edge digger. I do like it. Let's see what else.
Do
I
you
have
use
a
a pinpointer?
backpack.
Do you use a pinpointer?
Yeah, I have the Profine 35 that I use.
Okay. All right.
What color on the Excalibur did you get?
I just went for a straight black. I thought about doing the black and red fade, but Debbie did that instead. Debbie has one that's black and red, and it looks amazing.
You should have done the Treasure Talk color.
Oh, well, you know.
Hey, I do have to ask because Tom Becker's asked this one. Have you tried the Coiltech 10x5?
Yes, I have. And I really like that coil actually quite a bit. I haven't used it a ton, but in cornfields, that's a really nice little sharp coil to be using. You know, yards. I've gone back over yards, and it's a dream to use. And obviously, it takes some weight off the machine too.
Yes.
The longest I went out with that coil, it actually allowed me to hunt for 11 hours one day.
Jeez.
The last time I used it, I hunted for 11 hours. Yeah. So,
Yeah, I do like, Tom is right. I do like that 10x5 coil because I like a small coil because we're in when you're hunting, when they've torn a house down from the teens or 20s, there's just so many pieces of junk in the ground, plumbing fixtures, doorknobs, door handles, hinges, bolts, nails, everything. It just enables you to cover a little more ground than that 6-inch coil. And it enables you to go, I think, a little bit deeper. I might be wrong on that, but just the separation, I just love that.
yeah.
Trash
I
areas.
like that coil.
You're covering more ground than the 6-inch.
Yeah.
So, Jeff, you got something, buddy?
No, I was just fixing. We're gonna do a little giveaway action.
Oh, that's right. Steph, thank you for doing those because that's awesome. Giving away something silver is real. Everybody loves silver. Let's face it.
They do indeed.
If you find a silver coin, it's just a happy day.
Oh,
Yes, it is. And I haven't found any for a while, so you know. There we go. I'm looking for the. Okay, there we go. We are going to do one of our fabulous giveaways. And thanks to Stef from Stef Diggs, we have got 2 prizes to give away tonight. 2 fabulous prizes. There'll be 2 very, very lucky winners. And as you know, you have to be a member of Treasure Talk YouTube or Treasure Talk Facebook to enter and be eligible for our giveaways. You have to be tuned in to win. And as you can see, I've put my phone number on the screen. So once I announce your name, and only if I announce your name, you will have 3 minutes to text me with your name and you are here. Now, you had to enter a phrase on YouTube and on Facebook, and that phrase was Stef Diggs will rock you out, which is a true statement. And I have taken all the names from, and there were many, 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 many from YouTube and Facebook. I put them in my random name picker, and I have the names and some alternates. So once I call your name, you'll have 3 minutes to text me at my phone number with your name and that you are here. Okay, and what you're going to win. The first name I'll call is going to win 2 Barber half dollars. The second name that I call is going to win a Morgan silver dollar. I mean, this is some really cool stuff. And Stef went over the top with the giveaways. So
I have
get
to
your
make an
fingers
amendment.
ready. What say, Stef?
I have to make an amendment to what you said.
Okay.
Each winner will both get 2 Barber halves. One winner will also get a Morgan dollar. Another winner will get a ounce copper round.
Okay. Works for me. Because what I'll do is I'm going to send it to Steph and she's going to send it to you. So there you go. So remember, Steph Diggs rocks you out. True statement. So get ready. Okay. Rob Manning, you are number 1 winner, and Chief Digger, you are the second winner. You got 3 minutes to text.
Hey, while we're doing that, Jeff, I was just reading some of the comments on the stream because now my computer screen is bigger, so I can actually read something without putting my face in the front of the camera. And this is from Luis Villarreal. He said, I found a $10,000 engagement wedding ring at a local beach with my Knox 600. I wish I could find the owner. Now, I'm not like Luis. I'm glad I can't find the owner sometimes. That's a nice find there.
Yeah, that one I might.
If it had a name in it, yeah, I'd be tracking them down. But it's kind of tough if there isn't a name or a date inside of it to track that person down. But Steph, have you done any ring recoveries?
I tried and failed at one, unfortunately. And it should have been simple too, because one of my friends, thankfully, I don't think she's going to be watching this. She's not that into metal detecting. Had over imbibed on New Year's Eve and threw her promise ring, and she didn't know exactly what direction it went in her yard. And the ground was frozen. It should have been on the surface somewhere. I could not find it though. I have every reason to believe that she actually threw it behind her. I have to go back and do the backyard and see if I can find it, because it's silver too. So I'm like, oh, goody. This is going to be a little bit easier than maybe if it was a really delicate gold ring or something, No luck with that. And I actually haven't found a ton of things. Like I said, I don't do a lot of the beach. I don't do parks to speak of. So I think I found 2 or 3 rings last year, but they're all way too old and unidentifiable in terms of what's inside the band to be able to return it to anybody.
Yeah.
So, nope.
Did we get both winners, Jeff?
We got both winners. So what they need
that's awesome.
is, let me put this up here. You have to send an email to treasuretalkshow@gmail.com. We want your name, address, and phone number. And then I will forward those on to Steph, and she will get your prices out to you. And let me tell you what, like I said, she stepped up to the plate. She knocked it out of the park.
Yes.
I mean, this is the golden child right here. I mean, it don't get much better than that.
Yes, that's an awesome prize for sure. So, Steph, now you said you don't do much beach hunting. How about hunting underwater in lakes or rivers? Have you done any of that? Because, all Minelab products, the Equinox and the Manticore, they're all waterproof.
They are. And I think I have done the lake exactly one time. And by the lake, I mean I didn't get myself fully submerged. So I'm not, I really kind of stick to my niche of these colonial sites that are no longer there. But I think it's probably time for me to get in the water because I have a problem tolerating heat, and sites around here are starting to really thin out with the popularity of the hobby. I've seen a few detectors out in the wild in the last year, which I had never seen that happen before. So with the uptick in interest with this hobby, you have to get creative. So that's something I probably will experiment with soon. But yeah, I guess I'm boring. I just do my niche, which is really colonial homesteads or areas that they used to be.
Yes. Well, I think if I had those sites available, I would probably hunt those because I got started hunting land hunting, and this is probably 40 years ago. And you
When he
know,
was 7.
yeah, I was 7 then, Jeff. You're right. Yeah, I- you know,
I'll go with it.
I like doing that. I would rather do that. I would rather hunt a Seminole War fort site like Tampa. Downtown Tampa was that's what it was when it started in the 1820s. So over the past 30, 40 years, I've had some opportunities to get on some really key sites and find a lot of War of 1812 time period stuff. Seminole War fort site stuff. And I just like that. I thought that was really cool to pull out a coin from the 1830s. I just thought that was neat, a U.S. coin. We got another winner, Jeff.
No, we got them both. I don't know whether they're just texting away.
Just,
Thank
just
yous, thank
they're
yous, and
so
all kinds of
happy
stuff.
to get their find.
They are. They're over the moon, and why
Yes,
not?
yes. But I
Because
would rather
chances
do.
are, Phil, that they can detect for the rest of their lives, and they'll never find those things.
Yes, for sure. But I like the old stuff too. But it's easier to detect in the water. It's less taxing on you. And a lot of times, in my neighborhood, if I find a silver coin, it might be a Mercury dime or a Barber dime if I'm lucky.
Yeah.
And those aren't as valuable as a nice fat gold band,
Yeah.
right, Jeff?
Right. Now, Steph, you just recently started using the Manticore, correct?
Yep.
So, kind of walk us through the Manticore. What you think are the high points, things that you were very glad that they incorporated into the machine.
Mhm. Okay, so Manticore I started using kind of toward the end of March, and I kind of took right to it. I just, for people who have a Manticore, you'll understand what I'm talking about. I will try to break it down in such a way for people who don't have a Manticore to also understand what I'm saying. But if someone has a question, obviously put it up on the screen for me, and we'll address it then. But it really is a very, I mean, to kind of boil it down, and then that's kind of how I do it, the big picture, and then I'll boil it down. But big picture for me is that 2D screen is incredible. So far, I kid you not, it's not been wrong. I mean, it gives me chills kind of just to think about it. It's like it's a triumph of technology, is what I've been telling people. It's a really appropriate upgrade for somebody who's been using an Equinox 800 for a few years and wants to try something, and they wanted a CTX, but they thought it was, more to bite off than they could chew. This is something that's perfect. That 2D screen is absolutely the key, and I think that's the biggest advantage of that machine. Um, it's endlessly customizable, but you can use it on factory presets without really doing a whole lot to it and be successful on the first day. At least that's what I've experienced, but I'm an experienced Equinox user. So I can't say somebody coming off of a Garrett is going to have that same kind of success. I'm not going to make that kind of claim because I can't speak to it personally.
True.
But I mean, the first day I went out, I just put it in all terrain general. I think I bumped my recovery down to 4. That's usually what I hunt with. Nice, low, and slow. Don't go crazy with the sensitivity. It is not a machine that you actually have to run as high as you can. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. So I usually keep my sensitivity at max, maybe 24. I'm getting incredible depth with it. And I just love that you can actually really see. Like if you get kind of a falsy, unsure signal, it's really cool to be able to see what's going on in the ground, to be able to turn on that signal and say, oh, it was a man or something, because now it's showing up in my upper Ferris region, you can move on. The thing that I love about that 2D screen too is, for example, I was in a cornfield the other day with a ton of pot metal, so for those of you who don't know, it's kind of like a pewter, just crap, junk, modern metal. I would get these traces below that center conductivity line, but not in the Ferris region. And I was able to, after digging 1 or 2 of those, I could walk over it. Same thing with larger pieces of camshaw. I can walk over it now. Little pieces will still show up decent as a nice low conductor. That's the nature of the beast with aluminum. But I mean, there is so much value in having an extra way to identify and make those choices. You know, do you want to get on your back? You know, I mean, excuse me, do you want to get on your knees? It's a horrible thing to say. Do you want to get down on your knees? Do you want to bend over and dig this plug? Do you need to? And the Manticore can actually help you make those informed choices. Um, you know, yesterday, for example, I dug something pretty cool. I dug, and it's right here, I'll show you. Um, so this is a steel shoe buckle from about 1690 to 1720. And people would say, well, why is that an impressive find? You know, it's like steel, it's iron, it's not stuff we look for. Well, here's the thing is I was digging a lot of iffy signals yesterday that I hadn't really been digging with the Manticore, and I decided, yeah, I'll try. You know, hadn't dug iffy signals with the Manticore since I first started using it, because now I've really got the hang of it. But I said, you know what the heck? And I was getting kind of a squeak, and there was a trace I was running all-terrain low conductors yesterday, um, just tracing right above that lower Ferris region, right on the line. So I knew it wasn't going to be anything fantastic, and it was identifying it as steel. I mean, it told me what it was. And you know, if you get over a large piece of iron, you're not quite used to the audio yet. Guess what? It's going to make this wavy trace on the screen. I can't say enough things about it. I could be here all day talking about the 2D screen. But apart from that, the ergonomics are fantastic. You can really swing that machine all day as long as the battery will allow. I guess that's the only real caveat is the battery life isn't exactly what some might want it to be. But you know what? It gets me through a full day of hunting, no problem. Headphones, much improved. I love those headphones. And believe it or not, I do actually use headphones. People will see me at rallies with earbuds, but that's only because I actually have my hair and my makeup done. But when I'm home, I'm using headphones, so it's good to have that nice audio.
Yeah.
Uh, what else? I mean, it's fast as can be. It's deep. I don't know what else to say. So I absolutely love it, and I really just can't stress enough that the value is in being able to walk away from something. I mean, that's just so huge, and I think especially for people coming off of a CTX where your back and your arm can't handle it anymore, that's a perfect solution. Or again, somebody coming off of an Equinox.
Okay,
Yeah.
Steph, I didn't mean to cut you off, but we got a question here. Tom Becker saying, Steph, do you feel the Manticore is worth the extra money over the 900?
1,000% yes. 1,000% yes. And I can say that because I used the 900 for 3 months. I got mine actually, I think maybe the second week of December. I know I was in that first shipment of the dealer that I went through to purchase a 900. So I swung it for solidly 3 months because we didn't have much of a winter up here to speak of. The ground stayed thawed in Connecticut. Kind of scary, but you know, uh, being able to make those decisions with the Manticore that I couldn't necessarily with the Equinox. The Equinox and Manticore might be on the more comparable end of target separation and being able to see the same stuff in the ground, but you're not getting the visual with the 900 that you are with the Manticore, and I think that is absolutely worth the additional $500.
Yeah.
So the Manticore, in your estimation, Steph, is a lot more customizable and tweakable for those that like to tweak programs
Yeah.
and customize it to their own. Everybody's hearing is different and that type of thing.
Yeah, like for me, I like to hunt with normal audio versus the enhanced or anything like that because the signals seem to pop more for me, and I am hearing impaired. I'm deaf in one ear, and the good ear is not all that great either. So I get nice, crisp, clear signals. I am, it's not quite as nuanced as something like, say, the enhanced audio, where you're going to get a bit more of an indication of size and depth. I don't care so much about that. I just want to make sure that I darn well hear it. So, I'll use that. Sometimes I'll use 5 tones or 5 region all tones, which I've actually liked that quite a bit better. But yeah, in my opinion, it's a no-brainer to me, having used both of them each for 3 months at a time now. I really can honestly stand behind that product 110% and say that's the best metal detector, in my opinion, that's on the market. I have not swung competitive brands. Obviously, I'm with Minelab, but I think that's the best Minelab money can buy right now.
Very good. It's,
Well,
it's that time, Philip.
Oh, yes, it is. It's that time. So, Steph, I wanted to thank you for coming on here and sharing your wisdom with Manticore and MindLab products.
Yep.
And I want to remind folks to hit that like button on our screen. Somebody said, "Hey, folks, be sure to hit that." I don't know what it does, but hit that like button, guys. And thank you for being on here, Steph. Thank you, Jeff, for all you do, buddy. And hopefully, you'll find a lot of gold over there in Daytona.
I
And
hope
thank
so.
you, Jocelyn, for helping us. And it was an awesome show for sure.
Steph,
Thanks for watching, everybody.
I can't thank you enough for coming on. The giveaway you provided is,
Class.
it's pure class, just like you. You always have been pure class, and you always will be. Everybody says it. At Dig Stock, everybody was enthralled to meet you because you handle yourself with class. You are a class act, and we are very, very pleased that you granted us an audience to come on our show tonight and visit with everybody and tell them exactly what's going on with MindLab products. So we can't thank you enough. We wish you all the best, and we thank you again, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Tune in next week when we'll have Blake Carmichael from Blue Nemo. He's going to update us on the Blue Nemo and the Nomad Mini. So that'll be an interesting show. So tune in next week, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where Phil and I will be talking with Blake. Steph, you did fantastic. You are a detectorist among detectorists. We thank you. Happy hunting, everybody, and good night.
Good night and dig deeper. Happy hunting, guys.